Welcome to another episode of Dev Diaries. I am Achilla. When we set about designing Project Little Big warships, now titled Warfleet Captains, we defined a set of classes for ships the player will be unlocking. In the early design phases, we decided the main ship classes were to be frigates, destroyers, and battleships. Today we'll be looking at the staple of all fleets, the destroyer class. When we envisioned the destroyer class, we wanted a ship that can stay in a head-to-head fight with other ships and deal constant damage. We wanted the destroyer to be the balance between speed and armor, the middleman, the jack of all trades class. Therefore, this ship class will be one that can have traits from either of the frigate or the battleship class, as well as a couple of its own. They will also be armed with medium-sized turrets by default and house many of these to allow them to provide sustained fire on a single or multiple targets. This class will allow players to play a more involved role to stay in the fight, but also give them a couple of defensive abilities if things get a little too difficult to handle. For the technical demo, we have outfitted the destroyer class with a set of abilities to make up the core of what we define the destroyer class to be. Firstly, we have the EMP ability coming back on the destroyer class. The EMP is a means to stop incoming damage from close range enemies by disabling them completely and allow you to turn the odds in your favor. We have already discussed the mechanics of the EMP on our frigate class video as well as other devlogs, so please check them on the links in the description below. We now move on to the countermeasures, which is an ability that allows destroyer class to mitigate damage from incoming missile attacks. Deploy countermeasures ability when missiles are in range and they will explode harmlessly away from your ship. However, it is important to note that countermeasures do not deflect torpedoes or dumbfire missiles, like nukes coming in the future. This is a situational ability, and it is important to know when evasive maneuvers are in order and when you can use countermeasures to avoid incoming missile damage. The third ability is your burst damage. This is the missile barrage. Use this ability to unleash a swarm of missiles at your target. If you haven't designated a target, the missile barrage will choose to track the closest enemy within its range. If there are no targets, however, they will fly randomly into space and detonate after a set distance. The missile barrage can track its target more effectively than torpedoes and also fly faster. Therefore, use it to catch light targets off guard with this ability to deal devastating damage. Lastly, we have the overcharge ability. Trigger this ability to boost pretty much all aspects of your ship. The speed is boosted as well as the damage dealt by your turrets. Using this ability allows the captains of destroyers to become a big threat in the battle. So there it is, the destroyer, a damage dealer with not a lot of options of escape. It is important to plan your positioning in this ship and be there to deal consistent damage to the opponents. When we were deciding on the abilities of this ship for the technical demo, we chose these from the abilities we had designed in order to set a playstyle for the destroyer. We want to know how effective a player using the destroyer role will manage while having to depend on their teammates to give support when in trouble. The destroyer is a brawler. It can stay in a fight far longer than a frigate class, but get caught in an ambush and you will quickly be at a disadvantage. In the full game, the destroyer will have many other abilities players can unlock and outfit their ships with to better suit their playstyles. You can try this and the frigate class at our upcoming technical demo available on the 1st of March 2020 on itch.io. Follow us on itch as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to be updated on the game's development.